As you guys know, I've been riding both the Yeti SB160 and the Orbea Rallon. Both bikes, 29-inch wheels front and rear. Both bikes, 170mm forks. Both bikes, 160mm of rear travel. So how do the two bikes compare? I thought it'd be super fun to do something kind of new for my channel, so I grabbed these two bikes, drove north up to the world famous Whistler Bike Park. Once I was up there, did a few runs on the Yeti and swapped on to the Orbea Rallon to get a proper back and forth comparison between the two, as we like to say, shred sleds. All right, let's get sledding. So first bike park trip of the season. Season's like halfway begun already, not half over, definitely not. I'm in a much more positive mood than last summer when I came up on the Noli. So tomorrow I'm gonna sneak out on my dirt bike. Looking forward to that. Keep it inside the van so it doesn't disappear because a lot of things get stolen from this parking lot in this village. Gonna try out the Yeti SB160. This thing's been a lot of fun. I just hopped back on it for the first time the other day in a couple of weeks. And man, that bike is really fun. Where are you guys in from?
I live here, but
Sweet.
We're both from the UK. Yeah.
Right on. Warm it up.
Instead of trial by fire, I went for trial by cavity and first grabbed the Dental Destroyer.
So I gotta get used to judging speed with goggles and full face.
Before this test, I admit I did feel more confident, more stable, more prepared for the bike park, big hit riding on the Yeti. Prepare to be unimpressed as I hit the most famous trail in the world, A-Line, for the first time in about a year. With so many high-speed sends, the Yeti is forgiving for casing or overclearing jumps, something that would be completely inevitable as I try to dust off my own cobwebs.
One of my favorite things about both these bikes is that they can each fit a full-size water bottle. That's super cool and unfortunately kind of rare these days. To get more bang for my buck with my water bottles, I've been mixing in a simple electrolyte supplement. I've been fortunate enough to partner with the folks over at Element, spelled LMNT, who make a really simple electrolyte supplement. The stuff's just sodium, potassium, magnesium, a tiny bit of stevia, and that's really it. This is the citrus salt flavor, and I put one of these in my water bottle and I can get multiple hours of dry, dusty, hot bike park shredding with the Element setup. For a limited time now, Element's giving anyone that uses the link in my description below, drinkelement, lmnt.com/Jeff, J-E-F-F. They're giving you a free sample pack. A lot of you have already taken advantage of this offer, so if you want another free sample pack, that offer is still valid. So scroll on down to the YouTube description below, hit that link over to Element, and give this stuff a shot. I really like this citrus salt flavor, and I think you guys might like it too. Let's make up a bottle and go hit some slopes. Drink, lmnt.com/Jeff, J-E-F-F. Stay salty, everyone.
I've now got the Yeti more set up between the volume reducers and the hefty amount of damping, but of course, A-Line is so much faster and bigger than our local trails. I still need to download some updates to this bike. True, the braking bumps aren't as prevalent on most trails as they were on my last visit last year on the Noli, but the Yeti is about as good as any enduro bike is going to get on those bumps. Even if you have a really nice knife, you're still bringing cutlery to a show of firepower when you enter that gondola with a single crown fork. It's a little counterintuitive to share my actual first run on A-Line, so let's jump on into the second run.
Crazy how much better second run is than first. Oh my gosh. So fun riding this on a trail bike because everything is so fast compared to a downhill bike, what I recall. Let's relax the arms. All right, we're not sending this thing huge. Okay, I can go faster. I am used to overclearing the snot out of everything. It's cool they've adjusted some of this.
And of course, other possibility could just be that I've gotten a lot slower over the last 20 years. You tell me.
Oh, sketchy. Here we are in the gondola heading up Creekside with the Yeti SB160. Look at this thing, guys. This is quite the bike. I really like this bike quite a lot. I don't really have everything totally dialed in for bike park riding. This is so different than what I normally ride. I just firmed the fork up a bunch. Yeah, this thing works really good up here at the bike park. It's fast, it's really fast. You start pumping with some downforce, into the trail and you just rock it forward.
flowy. Oh, I used to ride this trail back in the day.
As a sign of just how fast and how rough this stuff is, I rarely ever lose bottles on the SB160. But watch this. And just to ensure this wasn't a fluke,
That's twice now.
I ended up stashing that bottle in my P&W fanny pack. This wasn't really very comfortable, but it was more comfortable than being really thirsty. And I'm supposed to drink Element while making this video, so it seemed an acceptable compromise.
Which one's misfire? This one's misfire.
I have about a half dozen different bottle cages on hand, so don't worry for the safety of my poor bottle. I'll swap in a new cage before you can say there's no celebration for dehydration.
Oh, flowier. Sure, sweet. Misfire.
This was perhaps my favorite trail of the day. It's a pure bike park trail,
Sounds like my mountain bike racing career.
with a higher average speed than a backcountry run, but still has some technicality. And it still had some soft, actual soil on it. Honestly, I shouldn't even talk about this trail because I should want to keep it secret, but come on. This is the most famous bike park in the world. There are no secrets on Whistler Mountain.
Stiffness wise, it feels appropriate for the bike park. For, you know, the jumpier trails and all that, it's fine. For the rougher black, double black diamond trails, it feels like it's appropriate, which is cool. I don't feel sketched out. It feels right on.
Oh, sore. Haven't done this in years. It's a nice trail.
Riding this sort of stuff is so different from what I normally do. The
There's
traffic
a
is so
line
much
here
higher
on
that the
this.
trail has so many lines burned in,
Right
and this
there,
allows you to
come
go
on
way
in, that
faster
was-
than on the less ridden, better trails.
This will be a bit spicier in the wet.
One place where I really appreciate how this bike works is the corners. You get in there, you start to lean it over, you hook your line, and you just transfer your weight front wheel to rear wheel and let it carve and just whoop-ah! It hooks into the turns really nicely. My back tire's in good shape. Front tire's a little worn, but how dry and dusty it is, working pretty good.
Those are pretty good bike park berms.
Nice to be positively impressed with that.
Creekside Zone. Looking for saber-tooth horse. Well, I believe this is us. Oh, that's kind of steep.
This trail was legit. It gets to some true steep bits. Admittedly, even the SB160 was undergun for a moment, but some of that could totally be its rider. Anyhow, once you've got into the zone, the Enduro bike did charge through all this stuff without too much drama.
Nice.
My own trail vision gets challenged at times. Things I think won't roll smooth, well, they work out just fine.
How's it going, Mary? That last bit was steep.
When we first raced this in 2014 or 2015 in the EWS, this trail rocked. It was rough, it had flow, and it was primo. But today, this trail might have been just a little bit of a disappointment. Not a ton of technicality, not a ton of flow or corners, or at least not for me on my first run. The trail was so hammered, it was overall pretty dang rough. If the trail bed was softer or a bit fresher, it might have been a cooler trail, or if I'd sessioned it all day, I might have found the flow, I don't know. But the SB160 did feel appropriate. It was significantly more comfortable and forgiving than my old Ibis HD3, way back in those 20-teen years. And that's saying something, as the rose-tinted glasses we usually look back at ancient history with tend to exaggerate plushness and stability.
Oh, we did race this back in the day. I think this is where I broke my wheel and DNF'd. I think the wheel broke somewhere around here, and then I had to put a tube in it with broken carbon shards everywhere, and then it gave away and broke all the way on the final stage. So I do feel like I'm riding a trail bike, the bike park with this thing. Not that that's a bad thing, it's just, it takes a lot out of you. Renegade. This is where I broke my GoPro last year.
While I don't use Cushcore often on my own enduro bikes, if I were going to be riding a bike park like this for more than a day, I would absolutely go for Cushcore front and rear. The extra vibration and impact reduction would really help, and they'd excuse many a mistake. I think both of these enduro bikes would benefit hugely from front and rear Cushcore.
I kind of want to just ride this bike all day so I can feel good on it, but it'd also be interesting to try swapping bikes and see how hard it is to go from SB160 to the little Orbea Rallon. I think we should find out how it works. Let's do it. I want to give a big thanks to Element for making this video possible, and before you're done, scroll down and hit that subscribe button to help me out.
All right, got the SB160 back in the rig. Let's grab the Orbea Rallon. So the Rallon, same saddle, same tires, different grips and wheels. Thank you. Hey, longest wait of the day, 11 minutes, not too bad.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
This morning was like 45 minutes.
Oh man.
Yeah, really.
Have fun, guys.
As the day went on and my fingers froze to the brake levers, I had a realization. Just as froze is past tense for freeze, past tense for I had a good Whistler trip is saying my foot might be broken. After a few hours on the Yeti, I tried to communicate more of my immediate ride feelings once on the Spanish Superbike.
Whoa.
The Orbea is quite a bit louder, and the sounds could be more due to the insane holes and braking bumps on the trails than on the bikes, but it is noisier than the Yeti.
Water bottle down. Thank goodness it's not mine. Not yet, at least. Definitely jumps a little different than the Yeti. Almost like the back end gets shorter in the air, compressing. Man, this top part of A-line is sweet. Oh God. Over clear. Oh, God. Kind of feels like I got something loose. Maybe it's just the sound. Feels tight. This thing feels much more trail bikey, much smaller than the Yeti. Smaller, but it still feels pretty appropriate. Woo! I'm not hucking the big side. Not today. Not really feeling like big jumps today. Ever since all the jumps closed in Bellingham, I haven't been practicing big jumps. This thing's a bit less stuck to the ground. Frame's a bit softer. Not a huge difference. Whew. Oh, over clear. The vibration. Not quite as smooth as the Yeti. The Yeti felt longer and maybe even a tad lower, a tad stiffer, and a tad more glued down, a tad racier. This feels a little more flickable, a little bit more playful. But I would certainly not use the nervous word. It's actually pretty cool. Kung. Hope this wheel survives. Thank you. Last run I was on the SB160. It's also my first run on this trail in years. Like 10. It's a long time.
On this Garbanzo Classic, I think I was cruising a bit slower on the Rallon. I think the SB160 is a tad more at home here, and while it's a difference, I'd say it's like a 5 to 10% difference at most.
No joke, here we go.
Sort of like White Claw versus Truly, nearly the same, both will work, but at the end of the day, there are certainly manlier tools for the job.
Cobblestones. This is where I lost my water bottle last time. Probably going a lot slower right now, but...
Contrasting that last bit of hammered bike park trail to the still being hammered trail here. I think I was going a bit faster on the Rallon than on the Yeti, maybe due to being more familiar with the trail. But I do think this is the type of terrain where the Rallon might just edge out the 160. At least, that's how it felt at first. As it went on, I did get a little more fatigued on the Rallon than I ever did on the 160. Kind of think hare rather than tortoise, but that's not fair to say, as the Yeti uses its shell to encourage warp speed of shredding, rather than tactically waiting out any aggressions.
Oh, let's give the hands a little rest. I know it's just easy to say the SB160 is racier, but I do think that's the case. Wheels don't break. Oh, landed on the up there. Okay, so I had a touch more confidence on the 160. Oh. But in a different way.
One of the best trails I rode all day was this narrow, fresh trail that wasn't actually all that steep.
Sweet.
The Rallon was a great bike for this type of terrain, and I think it really helped me enjoy the trail to the most. The ever so slightly forward weight bias and easier to handle nature of the bike was well suited to this trail.
I feel like this is the right bike for this trail too. This thing works pretty good. Oh, I needed to try this trail on the Yeti. I think it would also work bitchin'. Okay.
This type of trail is quite fun, but in my opinion, the most dangerous. It's fast, it's not too technical, but it's still kind of rough.
So many lines through here, you could go so much faster. Oh my goodness.
If you make any mistake, the consequences will be higher than on the truly steep techie stuff, possibly resulting in broken bones. I'd rather crash on something steep than on something fast. I was a little fatigued, so I gotta say, this was my own mistake. But it's exactly why I don't love bike park riding. Consequences are high.
Oh, I hope I didn't just break my foot. Oh. That's why I don't motorcycle to bike parks.
I have been thinking my 510 trail cross shoes would be a good idea, but my foot almost broke in that impact. I ended up buying some trusty 510 shoes, called the Impact, after this trip, and I can't wait to try these MTB ski boots soon here.
Let's keep moving. Do some back-to-back. Oh.
So the Orbea Rallon. People have been asking about this bike here at the park. Definitely feels a touch smaller than the Yeti. Feels a little easier to get airborne than the Yeti. It feels a little more nimble. Doesn't feel quite as fast. Doesn't quite respond as good to pumping. The Yeti feels honestly more glued to the ground, more racy, and the Orbea feels more playful. They're both cool bikes, and there's sections of trail where each one kind of feels a little better than the other. It's been fun trying these things back to back.
That was a shitty line. So both bikes got down that pretty good. That's pretty legit technical. I wouldn't say I got a favorite for that kind of steeper, gnarlier stuff. They're both decent. For being enduro bikes, they're both really good and decent. Oh, only the rider is paying more attention. Oh. So I will say when I pump this thing versus the Yeti accelerates more, but I think That's the wheels. Hello. All right, let's hop into BC's trail. Did this on the SB160. I raced this years ago. This trail is okay. It's slow, it's tight, it's technical, it's hard pack as all heck. Not a ton of flow at the top bit. Very bouncy. This trail's got a lot going on. I haven't ridden a trail this busy in a long time.
We all can chit-chat bikes till we're blue in the face, but in reality, most bikes will work fine for most people. It's the rider, not the bicycle, that matters most. Simply being used to a bike and having it properly set up is more important than splitting hairs. I'd rather ride a true DH bike in the park anyhow, but if I had to, either of these enduro bikes could be a suitable park bike. I think this sort of heavy-duty riding really does require those Cushcore inserts and burly wheels. If possible, some additional vibration reduction would be worth it as well. But it's cool to see that despite the immediate ride differences, either one of these bikes would totally work just fine.
That's where I broke my wheel.
If you guys enjoyed this video, please do me a favor, hit that like button down below. Also, leave me a friendly comment. When was the last time you rode a bike park on a single crown fork? What'd you think? Finally, if you haven't yet, please consider hitting that red subscribe button. That'll definitely help me out. Thank you all so much for joining me. I had a blast putting this together, and I can't wait for the next Whistler Bike Park trip.
Hello.
Thanks, everyone.
Oh my God.
Thank you all for joining me. I have not done a video like this just comparing two bikes in the same day. I don't think ever on the channel here, so let me know in the comments if you enjoy this format, if you found it helpful. Let me know if you've tried Element. If not, I like the stuff. Feel free to give a quick review of Element down in the comments down below. And thank you all for joining me. Hit that red subscribe button if you want to see more stuff. I've got some more ideas for things we could do to compare similar bikes. All right, I'll see you in the comments. Peace, everyone.